In this video, we will walk you through how the Peakflo vendor portal works. For more accurate data entry and management, integrate your accounting software or ERP and sync your vendor information to Peakflo to bypass the hassle of manual data entry. Once the purchase orders are fully approved, the vendors can log into Peakflo vendor portal and access the purchase orders under the customer purchase order section. The vendors can easily check the information of the purchase order, along with the line item details and prices from the timeline. Then the fully approved receipt notes will sync back to the accounting software and will be accessible to the vendors under the customer receipt notes in the vendor portal. The receipt note information along with the line item details can be checked from the timeline by the vendors. For advance payments, the invoice can be issued via fully approved purchase orders. And for delivered goods, the invoice can be created via approved receipt notes to make sure the vendors are not under-delivering the items. In both cases, by clicking on Create Invoice, the vendors will be able to issue invoices with a single click for your organization. At the time of invoice creation, the item's unit price cannot be edited by the vendors to make sure vendors are not overcharging. You can make certain file uploads mandatory for your vendors, and the invoice cannot be fully approved or issued without all the necessary attachments. Peakflo can also provide document validation for invoices and ensure that documents such as shipping list and invoice have the same line items. Peakflo team can validate document to invoice matching. Without the document validation, the invoices cannot be submitted by your vendors to your organization. To activate the validation, please contact support@peakflo.co. After all the errors have been resolved, the invoice can be sent for approvals according to the assigned approval workflow by the vendors. Once the vendor has issued the invoice in their vendor portal, the invoice would now appear in your Peakflo's accounts payable tenant under the bills section. The bill detail and audit trail can be tracked from the timeline. Peakflo will track all the partial payments made or the partially delivered goods automatically to ensure that there will be no overpayments and vendors will not overcharge or underdeliver items. After full approval of the bill will be scheduled for payment based on the scheduled date of the bill. From the vendor portal view under the Invoices tab, the vendors can also stay on top of the invoice status, download payment receipt, or communicate with your organization by checking the timeline of the invoice. For more information, check out our help portal at help.peakflo.co or send us an email to support@peakflo.co.